All right. We are live again. Finally, Ministry Matters is back. I've been out of the studio for a while, but I'm excited to be back. We got a topic. We got a couple awesome topics. But today I got a very special guest that I met at a KLA event, and I am excited. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Charlie Vandervoort. I am the executive director for Be Finally Free. I'm also the co-owner of Next Gen Game Truck. With that, I spent over 15 years of my life incarcerated due to alcohol, drugs, criminal activity, being involved in the criminal lifestyle. I also spent time on the riverbed being homeless. But now, I graduated from CSUB with drug and alcohol studies. I'm getting ready to graduate with my degree in public administration in November from National University. So it's just been a life-altering change, I hit my knees when I was in the cell, and I asked this God to take all these burdens up off of me, because, I was just drowning. I was drowning in depression, anxiety, hurt, trauma from my past. And he did. It hasn't been an easy ride, though.
Yeah.
It's been rough at times, but I've always picked myself back up. But I've also had a cast of supporting people in this community to walk beside me as well.
That's awesome, man.
I truly believe, Psalm says, he will command his angels concerning you to guard and watch over you in all your ways. And that's what he's done,
Ooh. So, man, you went to school?
You can't tell it, but I did.
No, I just it's so wild, that little testimony. And then you went to school, and what really pushed you to get to say, hey, I'm going to go to school?
Yeah, well, I got out last time I was incarcerated. I got out May 11th, 2020. So it's just been a short time.
Okay.
When I was incarcerated, last time I was incarcerated, had been a variety of things that had led up to that. Had met some deputies inside the Laredo Detention Center that have been planting seeds of hope and guidance into my life. And with that, they would come out and they call me out and I work for them, and they would just talk to me. They would encourage me. They're like, what are you doing? This isn't you.
Hang on. You're talking about Kern County COs.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised, though.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. And to this day, they still walk beside me when I'm falling. They've been there to pick me up, and they are definitely my angels.
So cool.
Yeah, I've been one retired, and now he works for me.
That's awesome, man.
So when I was there, I was like, I'm gonna get out and do something different. And last time I locked up, every deputy that came through, Johnson, Hayes, Briggs, Ayala, Morales, Gillespie, Ashley. I said, hey, I need help. One time I broke down, and then I was like, hey, am I gonna be okay? And they're like, what do you mean you can be okay? Are you okay? Because I think they thought I was suicidal or something.
Oh, man.
But really, I was just broken.
Yeah.
And they said, are you gonna be okay? What are you worried about on this rat bullet case, right? They say you do this all the time, Vandervoort. What are you worried about?
Yeah.
Said, nah, this isn't me no more, man. I'm done.
Whew.
And so they to their credit, they turned it into a program unit for me. And then COVID hit, and I just got into the Bible, and I would be preaching sermons inside my cell by myself. And I got out, man, and I said, I'm gonna go out here and make a change and make a difference. And that's what I've done. I got out, went to Freedom House, to CSUB as a sociology major, and then transitioned into drug and alcohol studies, graduated with that, and now I'm getting ready to graduate with my public administration degree.
That's so during the whole pandemic, you were in school.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I have a question. I had a friend named Anthony Martin.
Yeah. He was in my class.
Him?
Yeah, he was in my drug and alcohol studies class.
Oh, man. I was just thinking, I was like, he's probably met Anthony Martin. He's got a crazy story too, just like you.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Oh, I can't wait. We got it. We're called Anthony after this, because he went to school during the whole pandemic too, and graduated. He's counseling out in Tehachapi now.
Yeah, CCI.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell us about Be Finally Free. What is this organization? It says on your shirt, discipleship, education, and relationship.
Yeah. Well, we believe in educating individuals that are struggling with education, discipling, and building relationships with people that are struggling with homelessness, addictions, and people formerly incarcerated. But we also help people that are incarcerated. We have a Notes of Hope program, Bible study that we send to inmates throughout the United States and even outside of the United States. And they do our Notes of Hope program. They'll mail it in, we'll mail it back.
Hang on. You got to have, because the audience is Notes of Hope. So what that looks like is they are sending you a letter and you're writing them one back?
So we give them a Bible study.
Okay.
Curriculum, and we'll send it to them. And then, they'll do their Bible study, write out their answers on it. They'll send it back to us and we'll grade it. We'll send a little encouragement to them. And we'll send them back to their next lesson. Back and forth, this correspondence like that to help, we're planting that seed. We're ministering to them from remotely, you want to say, right?
Yeah. I think that's encouraging. Like because they have the Bible and they want to read. So now you challenge them and go like, all right, level up, send us a note. We'll send you one back. That's cool.
Yeah. So we've been very fortunate. We've gotten a lot of individuals that want to learn about the Lord more. And although we can't be there in person, we can do it. We can do it remote. We can do it by paper. Correspondence, right? So Be Finally Free was founded by Debbie Amande in 2011. First, she started with ministering to the juveniles inside the juvenile center, but she found that you can't over familiarity, and so she kind of transitioned away from that. But now, as all in the hands of God. Now we're actually getting back into the juvenile system. It's like coming full circle right now.
That's wild.
So crazy. If you just watch the outcome. It's like we're slowly making a full circle. So, but yeah, so we started. So she started developing curriculum about how for people to learn how to parent, dealing with anger management, and then shattering the poverty mindset. A lot of us have grown up in generational poverty.
Oh yeah.
So
I know all about that. Man.
Yeah. How'd you get out of it?
I had a friend who said I thought too small. And when her name is Sue Watson, when she told me that, I was like, huh? And then I remember one day sitting back going like, because I used to use this word. I hope if it offends you, too bad. Hood rat. And, and what a hood rat in my description was this person who came from the hood, and they're always looking to get a piece of cheese, and they don't care how they get it. They will steal it from you. And if you do something for them, they don't care. And I was like, I hope I'm not like that, God. But God really, he used that conversation and a couple other. I had a friend named Brent, and he showed me that you don't have to be broke to be humble.
Right.
You don't have to be in poverty and to be a giver. I thought you have to be broke to serve God, and that's not how it works. Sometimes the greediest person on the planet is broke. They have no money.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. So
that's cool. Yeah. They have curriculum for that too. I think if you're in the criminal system, that is a key component of switching your whole way of being, because you're right. The poverty mindset I still struggle with it. Yeah. I still we'll cook dinner, and if there's leftovers, I have to tell myself, it's all right. You don't have to eat the leftovers. And that's that poverty mindset. I'll tell you, it takes a, yeah.
Well, Adrian, I struggle with it too. I'll give you a little insight. I shared earlier, I'm with a wonderful woman named Michelle Avila. She's actually executive director of the Kern County Cancer Foundation.
Oh, awesome.
And we're and this is I say we were living in sin, but we weren't married at the time, but we're not living together now. But we're living together, and I'm taking my check and then putting all but giving her the bare minimum, even though we have a whole household to pay for, but that's that poverty mindset. I didn't want to share none of it. The money I earned, because what would happen, Yeah. So I'm holding back from the woman I love, and I'm raising two girls with her, holding back from them. So, God gave me a rude awakening, And that's another reason why I'm not in the household right now. But I'm working through all that, and I'm changing that poverty mindset to be a more loving, caring, and compassionate husband and father to my family.
Yeah. There's a guy named Kevin Tinter. He has this idea of uncommon freedom. And he dives into the poverty mindset too, that you can't be uncommonly free if you're uncommonly broke. You know, you can't but yeah, man, that's awesome. So what's one of the key elements of that poverty mindset? What's the first thing you guys try to hone in on if you're working with somebody?
Well, we try to hone on that the environment they grew up in isn't who they are, and that environment that you grow up in, you don't have to stay there, right? So we do a lot of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, to change that poverty mindset. I'll give you an example. We were teaching at a class, and we were teaching about how to develop a resume, what to do to go out and get a job, what do you do during your interview, then once you get that job, how you gonna save your money. A lot of people don't know how to have they've never been paying bills, so they don't have money to they don't have a bank account to save money because they're off the system. So
yeah, I didn't even think about that, because most people don't think about the fact that, you know, these people who are going to prison, some of them have just been fed off the system, so they don't got bank accounts, savings accounts.
They got a little EBT card, right?
Oh man, that's wild. Yeah.
So we're sharing that with her, and we're telling her, even breaking it down to the credit cards. This is what happens if you get a credit card. There's credit cards out there where you can get rewards, and then you save those rewards, those points, and you can go on a trip, or you can go somewhere else with those credit cards, right? We're trying to touch every base.
Yeah.
So a young lady walks up after, and she's like, so you're telling me there's other things besides welfare and food stamps? And we're like, yeah. She's like, because my mom taught my grandma taught my mom that, and my mom taught me that, and that's all I've ever known.
Whew. Man, that's the world we live in though, right now. And it's crazy. I'm glad you're bringing that to light, because that was not even on my list to talk about that, but it's real.
It is real, man.
It is real, and things are changing. Like, I remember I seen this post. There's this TikTok lady, and they found out that how much she makes off of TikTok, and they took her welfare, they took her housing and everything. And she's like, I don't know how I'm gonna live. And I was thinking in my mind, you make $50,000 a month off of TikTok. How are you not going to? And it's that poverty mindset, though. Mm-hmm. That lady literally does not know how to do it. Mm-hmm. She's like, I don't know how to just take this money and portion it out for my needs and for my housing. And that's crazy, man. That's crazy. What else is something that Be Finally Free?
So we have a homeless street outreach program. We have a small grant through the county of Kern. We go out and minister to individuals on the street. We also bring them in, and we do our educational life skill classes with them as part of the grant as well. We have a CalAIM enhanced care management and community services program for people experiencing homelessness, SUD, substance use disorder, serious mental illness, and the justice impacted. Okay. So come in, intensive case management. We come in, they do assessment. It's overseen by a clinician, and then we do a plan of care for them. And really, it's just person centered. It's the goals that they want to meet, and it's the goals they want to meet. And we might make suggestions here and there because we want them to have a better quality of life. But we just walk beside them on the goals that they want to meet and make sure they meet them. And we just we connect them to housing, substance use treatment, mental health treatment. They need transportation, and but the ultimate goal is just to get them at a better quality of life. And our thing is that a lot of people just want to push people into housing, and that's in our community, that's a housing first model. I don't agree with it. The housing first model is you get somebody into housing, but they don't have to go test clean. They don't have to go to their appointments, right? And what I found in my work in this community is a lot of people fall back into homelessness. They fall back into the old lifestyle because they have not dug into the root issues of their trauma and address that.
Yeah,
So
and they'll
we-
tear the house up.
Yeah,
I know from personal experience, my friend. They will tear your house up.
they did that to your house.
Well, I got a relative, and he was on the street for a couple years, and our family has done things to try to help it, and it it's hard to help if they don't want to take the medication they should be on, if they don't want to go to the doctor for whatever deficiencies they have mentally. That's really hard. So I'm glad you guys are doing that. And because that person didn't get any help when they were on the street in Kern County. It sounds like they're doing it now. So if you
Yeah.
guys run into somebody who's schizophrenic or bipolar on the street, you guys are actually making a plan to help them.
We are. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. And that's here in Kern County.
That's here in Kern County. Be finally free.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So I thought, just so you know, this next topic, I thought this was
And I don't know why you pulled me out of the KLM.
I don't know. But this topic is, I mean, as a men's ministry pastor, I face this, like I was telling you, like if I couldn't have this conversation with men, I wouldn't be talking to men most Sundays, because this conversation comes up quite a bit. And it has to do with the addiction of pornography. And I know myself, at a very young age, I seen pornography. This is how crazy our brains work. I know the image. I was like 8 years old. It's in there. It's like sealed in. I tried deleting it, rebooting.
Yeah.
It's in there. And it was a very young age, and it was just laying on the floor. Somebody had left it out, and it's in there. But it created this desire for those images. And when I got married and became an adult, I was in Texas. I remember the first time I bought my first pornography. I was in Texas, and I did not know what the 3 X's meant. And I was driving, and I was like, what are those 3 X's? And one of my friends goes, it's a porno shop. And I go, what? And he's like, yeah, you just go there and buy porn. And I was like, he's like, you have to be 18. And I was like, all right. Well, I was 18 and stopped in there. Had no idea what I was doing. The guy just looks at me like, what do you want? I was like, porn, I guess. Bought VHS, 3 VHS there. And it took, 2 years to get rid of that in my life. And it caused so much damage. So much.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. So, yeah. Kind of what you just shared. I thought I was the only one that the vivid memory gets stuck in your head, but I guess not. But yeah, for me, it started at a very young age. I think it was 7 or 8 years old. My dad would have it underneath his TV, the VHS tapes, and he was a single person. My parents were separated, and I would go out on the weekends, and I remember my friends still talking about it, and we were past laughing about it, but today, after I've dealt with it for so many years, it's become like, man, that was trauma. That lustful spirit, the devil planted in me at a young age. He had an opportunity to put that spirit in me, and without me even knowing about what it was. Because as I grew up, I was like, oh, that's just what men do. I see my dad do it. I see my grandpa looking at all these things, and it's all over the place on TV, on the corner. So that's just what a man does. Plus, you hear other men talking about it, right? And so obviously I was around godly men, but so that just I became accustomed to that. But yeah, young age, be watching it. My dad would leave, go out, hang out with his buddies, and I'd be watching in there, watching his porn tapes. And then I would find magazines around some other family members, and I remember it was talking about incest and reading that, the graphic description of those things, and as I got older, I thought that was a good thing. I thought it was okay, so I'd be buy my own tapes, not knowing what was going on, and then as I got into become an alcoholic and it got into meth, it became like a daily habit, and I couldn't have one without the other. And it wasn't, and I'll share, even though I had let go of that, I really didn't know how to be intimate with a woman, until I met my.
So listen, he's not saying he didn't know how to have sex. Just to clarify,
Yeah,
I know what you mean, but I just make sure the audience knows that's not what he's saying.
Okay, so let me share what I and I'm gonna try to be very PG rated, but there became a moment in my and Michelle's relationship where she's like, why aren't you intimate with me? And I was like, well, I am. She's like, no, you're effing me. You're not intimate with me.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so, and sorry to be PG related, if we're gonna be frank, and
F just means fun. I know what you mean.
There you go. And so, but it made me take a look within myself, because what I knew about it was what I've seen on the porn, right? Yeah. And when I've been freaky with other women that I didn't really even care about or love, or I've been so inebriated or so high that it wasn't all about that.
Yeah.
And so, like, being with Michelle really showed me how to be intimate with her. And but porn is a killer, man. It's dark. And it worked my mind, like you say. There'd be times now where it's flash in my head about a scene.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be like, why does that even come up?
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes, like, God has you on a mission to do something, and you'll be driving on your way, and then it's like, what is that? Get that out of my brain. It's the worst feeling to have those, because you want to be holy, you want to be good, and then these things flash. But I like that conversation about intimacy, because I think even married people, you can go through the motions of having fun and not being intimate in that bedroom. And it's funny, sometimes I'll pray for my friends and their couples, and I will pray for their bedroom, like for the intimacy to be there, for the unity, because it is a very physical act, but it is also a very soulful act. Mm-hmm. It is a very spiritual act that you can do with one person, and it was designed by God to be a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. But we could 100% take it for fun. For fun, and that would ruin it. It would just take everything that God wanted for us and ruin it. And I know that maybe you think, oh, I'm not addicted to porn, or you don't have anything like that. But even in the sacred marriage, you could miss that up and go through your relationship with your spouse and not be intimate. So what an awesome woman she is for calling you out on that.
She has helped me so much. She's been my biggest supporter. She met me when I was in a recovery home, and she seen something in me, and I don't know what she's seen, but she's seen.
They always do, man.
And without her, it's been a fun, exciting journey together.
That's awesome. Yeah. That is good. That is good. All right, maybe we can do this last question. Let's see. All right. So this may be interesting, because we just talked about porn, but there are certain individuals who don't need pornography to be addicted to a sinful act outside of marriage. And what I kind of mean with this question is, like, there's an ability for the human body to be sexually stimulated without pornography. Mm-hmm. And sometimes those things take us outside of marriage, and we're stimulated by these things, but we know it's a sin, because that is meant for marriage, right? And in that thing, we're talking about being finally free. How would you look at that and go, somebody could be, just like they're addicted to drugs, could be free of that too? How would they be free?
So let me try to, if I'm understanding this question, would it be something about like with lust?
Yeah, even lust. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I have experienced lust, and how I had to get free from that is that when those thoughts or that perversion would come staring at somebody, I would have to just like pray right then.
Yeah.
And be honest with you, I would, if I look at my phone and look at the woman I'm with, so on my phone, to try to distract myself from what the devil's trying to entice me with.
That's good.
Because that's exactly what the devil's trying to do. You know,
Yeah.
he's trying to entice you. And you know, it worked for a long time for me, with his enticement. But you know, I'm a child of God, and I try to live like a child of God. And if I'm not living it, if I'm not trying to give the best, because I fall short, I think we all do. But if I'm not putting, if I'm putting in the works, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm a fall, you know, I'm a fall, and the devil's going to step in. So I don't know if I have the answer you're looking for, but I will say,
I think it's good advice. Yeah.
I mean, I would say just lean into the Lord. The Lord says, lay all your burdens on, put all your burdens on me, you know, lay them at the cross, you know. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
And distract myself. I'll go into prayer. And if that's not, you know, usually that works, but if it's not working, I go pick up my phone and look at my beautiful,
beautiful wife.
There you go.
Well, you know, the wild part is, so I was 18 when I went and bought these pornographic tapes, right? And now it's everywhere. If I was 18 now, I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's all right here on this thing if you want it to be on there. And it's ruining tons of people, man. Tons of people all the time. So for me, yeah, looking at my phone, I have a picture on there right now. I got my little warrior picture because I got a Bible study after this. It's trying to get me in that warrior mindset. But yeah, if
they have apps too, that I think it's called the
Covenant Eyes.
Covenant
Yeah.
yeah.
There's an individual that he asked me to be his, what do you call it? It's not sponsor. It's you're like accountability partner with Covenant Eyes, and it sends them curriculum on a regular basis for them to read. It really tracks everything on their phone. Like I could literally see everything he does on his phone.
Wow.
Even phone calls.
Okay.
So if it will red flag a phone call if it is a female that he is calling.
Oh wow.
So it's like yeah, Covenant Eyes is no joke. I was like, man, are you sure this isn't owned by the government? The CIA or something?
That's not something I want somebody else to have.
Yeah. But it creates huge accountability. It's like $20 a month, and then your accountability partner needs to pay too for their part. So you really got to invest. It ain't free.
Is he paying for yours?
No, I'm paying for it.
Okay. You're a good accountability partner.
I agreed to it. So, hey, if it helps a friend get free of pornography, man, $20 a month is nothing.
Yeah.
I've seen the destruction of pornography and where it leads to addictions like drugs and alcohol, and eventually they will step out on their marriage.
Yeah,
the marriage will end.
Yeah, more times than not, I think that's happened. You know, there's a reason why pornography is such a big business. Why, you know, prostitution is such a big business. You know, sexual trafficking. You know, we have right over here in our own community, we have a porn movie theater that you can go to, and there's a reason why that thing's still open.
Yeah,
I mean, because if it wasn't getting no business, it wouldn't still be open. But it's been open as long as I've known since I've been out here. So, you know, it's a big thing that a lot of people don't want to address because of shame, pride, ego, or embarrassment. You know? Yeah, and
I think too, one of my biggest things, and I'll kind of wrap it up with this thought. Somebody I loved one day they were really in this struggle, and I sat with him and I said, you need to be very aggressive about how you take this on, because the end result is death. And they go, I'm gonna die. It was funny. I could see his brain just turning like, how could I die from this? And I go, no, sin leads that way. And I remember saying, you got to be like Jesus. Today's Monday, right? Yesterday was Palm Sunday, right? Today is the day where Jesus goes into the temple and he stops being passive in the temple. He gets aggressive and he flips the table over. And I think a lot of guys need to go to their house and flip that table over and get rid of that stuff. Like, be aggressive about going against this enemy that's trying to destroy you, destroy your marriage, destroy your children. Because there is something that is attached to that it will go after your kids. And you are opening the door for your kids to be exposed to that even more if it's in your house. So that's my thought on that.
Yeah, I piggyback with what you just said, 100%. You said it, take your children. I think that showed with my own dad, it took me.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's something that, you do have to go flip over that table. And, if you're listening to this, flip over that table.
Yeah.
Even, if you got something else that, that behind in the closet, flip over that table, because.
Yeah. I love that. All the tables are going to be flipped in Bakersfield. I'm going to get emails. Thanks.
Well, we got to start somewhere. We might as well start here, right?
Well, so if somebody wants to participate in Being Finally Free or get services, how would they do that? Is there an office, an email, or something they can do?
Yeah. So we have an office off of 225 Chester Avenue, right down Hart, downtown.
Okay.
But also, we talked about flipping tables. If somebody is flipping tables or is looking for some support, somebody to talk to, you can call me at 661-489-5952. My extension number is 103, and so it's a direct line to me. And we'll make some time, and we'll go get some coffee, and see how we can support each other. But Be Finally Free. You can reach out to us at 661-489-5952. We have somebody to answer the phones, and we'll direct you to the resources that you need.
Oh, man. Well, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it. It's a great conversation. I want to thank the sponsor and the producer of this show, 511 Media. I want to thank Mike Harvey for coming in here and helping us get this going and setting everything up. And thank you guys for watching this. I hope that when we post it, you're able to share it and send it to some people. Have a blessed day. We will see you in 2 weeks.